Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect and how it affects them and the price of milk. Thank you. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe down below.
Starting. Greetings, everyone. This is Harmony speaking. Today is August 1st, 2017 at 10:12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I must say, in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most critical messages I've ever delivered. For those of you who know me, I've been experiencing the Mandela effect for 23 years. I don't care to go through my entire resume, but I have given all my credentials. I am a true insider, blah, 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 work below the president, yada, 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 yada. I've been involved in a lot of black op projects, and I was recently summoned to a meeting, and I was completely appalled. The key here is that we are true spiritual beings. We come directly from true source, God creator, and we are God's children. As God's children, we are the most powerful beings in all of existence. What happened, and I've been preaching this message for 20 years, and I'm going to give 3 links to my videos that will get you briefly up to speed in a nutshell, because I do have 2 channels, Harmony Mandela Effect, and one Harmony Mandela Effect and Harmony Mandela Effect. My original channel got shut down, hacked, and I lost all that data. Basically, what I have been talking about is a very long time ago, and I'm not going to go into the details now. We had what you would refer to as a gate opened up. There was a dimensional split or a rift, and beings came through into our reality that should have never come here. To put it in simple terms, I think you all have been in elementary school, and if you're like my elementary school, you had your kindergartens that were fenced in, and you had the 3rd graders that were their, 1st and 3rd graders in their playground, and the 4th and 6th graders in their playground, and everyone was supposed to be kept separate to maintain the peace. As a parable, and I will speak in a parable, the species came in and they kicked down the fence of the kindergartners, and they began to poop and pee in the sandboxes and torment the kindergartners. And then they went around to the 3rd graders and tormented them, and the 6th graders, and they knocked down all the fences and completely destroyed the original construct of reality. The issue is that very, very, very few people, if anyone knows about this, I have to be privy to this information. These beings were known as 2-dimensional beings, and then they became 3rd-dimensional beings. I'm not talking about demons, and I'm not talking about aliens, or any of that stuff. This is a very specific species that came in. They are not physical. They are, I don't want to say spiritual in nature, but lack of better words, they're like orbs. When they came into our reality, they learned how they, they, I guess you can almost go along with the Bible. They became jealous of our physical bodies and how we could experience reality, and they couldn't. So they found a way to tap into our minds, the pineal gland to be specific. And in the description, please go into the description, I have 3 videos. The first one describes in extreme detail the schematics of the species, how they work, how they tap into our minds. And if you're Christian, you're going to think, oh, these are demons. No, they're not. These folks make demons look like angels. And they have done a remarkable job of hiding their existence, because in order to operate, they must be hidden. You can't know about them, because the second you know about them, the second you become aware of them, then you know how to fight them. The day that we became aware of them, they were terrified, and they literally said that I can ruin it for everyone. I discovered that this species can go into your brain, your pineal gland. They create, lack of better words, a box, so you don't even know they're there. If you are of the unsavory nature, they like, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Let's just say you're a regular human being, you don't do that stuff, but you have anger and jealousy. Basically, what I'm saying is that they have learned how to tap in to every single negative emotion known. This life has a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and they love to instill fear. I am here to tell you that fear is not natural to the universe. Fear has to be created. Kind of like you take the cocoa leaf and you have to turn it into a cocoa paste, and then you refine it, and then finally it turns into your cocoa powder. You take the opium, you take the poppy flower, and then you refine it. In other words, fear is not natural to this universe. And when this species came in and began to manipulate us, they also began to create allegiances with other species that are already here. So now we can talk about the demons. Now, if you want to believe in aliens, you can talk about that. So they created a bartering system where they do something for them and they do something for them. A complete bartering system with the agreement that their secrecy will be secret. I discovered this many, many, many years ago about how the species, a two-dimensional species, popped into our reality and gradually grew to the 3rd dimension and to the 4th dimension. Their goal is to evolve. The issue is that they are not good natured. They don't like humans. They don't care about our planet. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about anything because it doesn't affect them. They are not physical beings. They don't care if the whole world goes to crap because they can continue to exist.
But
The issue.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
The issue that we're having is that they know that in our system there are a tremendous amount of benevolent beings. For example, we all know that when there's a big disaster, what is the first thing that humans beings do? We all come to the rescue. We all come to the aid. We are literally willing to risk our lives to save perfect strangers. This is proof positive of the good nature of the human species. The issue is we have other forces here that want to say the contrary. Bad news travels fast, good news doesn't. So, what we're having here, in a nutshell, and please go in the description, and I go into great detail about how this species work. I describe the grids, I describe their dimension, I describe how they pop in and out of realities, I describe everything about them. And to be honest, they're terrified that you're going to go into the description system, my description of my videos, and learn about them. There's 3 videos there, 20 minutes each. I hope you have an hour of your life to change reality. Do you want to sit by and do nothing? I have been doing this for a long time, and people are constantly asking, what can I do to change reality? I'm only one person. That is the lie of the enemy. The enemy wants you to believe that you are only one person and you can do nothing, and that is the lie. The lie is for you to sit around and do nothing and wait for someone to come to save you. I am here to tell you that we need to all work together as a team and take back control of this reality. The situation is that we don't know all the rules of this reality, because what happens in history? History is written by the victors, and our history has been kept secret and hidden from us. You might remember the Alexandrian Library. They burned all the books. What does the Vatican do? Why is the Vatican hiding all these books from us? Seriously, why does the Vatican not let anybody in there to read the ancient writings, the ancient texts? For thousands of years, the truth of our history is there, and it's been kept hidden from us. And I'm here to reveal the truth to you. One simple truth. This species has the ability to go into your mind, into your pineal gland, and create a little box. If you're of the evil nature, they run you wild. Let's say you're a benevolent being. They can hide there dormant. Let's take the AIDS virus. You can have the AIDS virus. It remains dormant for years and it may never break out. So this species is hiding literally inside our pineal gland. And I've been talking for 20 years about how this species cannot create. They're not spiritually enough developed. So they have to hijack us. They hijack us and use us so that as we develop spiritually, they hijack us to move to the higher realms, the higher dimensions. If you follow the Hopi prophecy, the 5th ways, the 5th earth. What is happening is, on August 21st, there is going to be a solar eclipse, a rather remarkable one. There are many light workers, grid workers, a lot of benevolent beings, indigo child, I don't know, go down the list, the yada yada yada. They have been spending a great deal of time preparing for this solar eclipse, and they have been opening up the gates. They have been preparing for the gates to be open so that humans can ascend to the higher dimensions. Some people call it the 5th earth. And then as this solar eclipse comes in, they are going to further open up the gate. I don't know if I should say this. I was summoned to a meeting, and these folks are giddy, and they're happy, and they're ecstatic, because they have been waiting thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years for the event that is going to happen on August 21st. The gates are going to be open for humanity to make a choice, to decide if you want to remain in this reality, and some will. Some will simply be so asleep they won't know to ascend through the gate and experience the higher realities and to have a better earth. They are planning to hijack us and move to this higher realm. So I'm desperately asking you to go into the description, and I talk about how you can pray, meditate, whatever word you want to use, and rid yourself. You break open the box. As a spiritual being, you have the power and the authority to command them to leave your mind. Excuse me, I have a cold. The issue is, most folks don't even know they're in your mind. One reason is Christianity teaches you that you can't be possessed by demons. Yes, that's true. But we're not talking about demons, folks. We are talking about a species that has been hidden for a very, very long time. Go in the description, go through my lectures, educate yourself on how to focus into your mind and rid yourself of the species that is a parasite. It's a parasite. I don't care if you're the most benevolent, spiritual, wonderful being in all of existence. This species, for those folks, has the ability to remain dormant. And as soon as you rise to the higher level, as soon as you get through that gate, you are going to be a carrier, like a virus, carrying a virus into the next era, to the higher dimensions. So I simply beg you to go in the description, do the work, clear your mind, and get this garbage out of your head. I don't care who you are. And with that, I'm going to open up the panel for questions.
Could this very well be why we're feeling drained all the time?
Exactly.
Awfully tired.
You mentioned it's a parasite.
Yes.
So it's almost like, like primates. They have parasites on them, and in the primate family, they all have each other's backs, and they rid themselves of these parasites. So by teaming up together, I think we can get rid of this. What do you think?
Not only teaming up together, but it's an individual thing. And yes, we can team up together and work as a team. Brian, I didn't mention this. I can work with your team and help rid you of these things, and my team works on this as well. And yes, as a group, as we are more powerful as a group. So if you're an individual, join our groups. I've developed a lot of techniques over the years to help rid these people. But to be more specific and to answer your question, They are making you exhausted, and they are making you tired, so you will not connect to true source God creator. They want to keep you buried in this reality. They want to make sure you're not connected to the universe, and they want to make sure that you do not know what's going on. And even if you do know what's going on, they want to make you so exhausted and so paralyzed that you might just sleep through the whole event.
Right. You did mention earlier that we have some sort of, I guess some of, we have protection over us, and I don't know. It seems overwhelming right now. I'm just trying to ponder on it, you know. Um,
As much as you are protected, you have to know the rules of the game.
that's what I was going to ask you about the rules. That's the next question I was
And
going to
the
ask.
thing is, they know the rules. And the reason they know the rules, as I alluded to earlier, they burned all the books, they burned all the knowledge. The Vatican keeps everything hidden. They do everything in their power to hide the truth. For example, there was a time when I know some of the rules, and I demanded as a child of God that you tell me who you are and you show yourself, and they had to tell me who they are. But the thing is, they try to trick me, and they said, my name is so-and-so, and I was born of this parent. I said, no, stop. I want you to answer the law according to universal law, and I demand that you tell me what your purpose is. And then they had to tell me what their purpose is. But most people don't know the rules. They don't know how to make the demands. They don't understand these things because they're not known.
Take your authority. That's what it is.
Demand your authority.
Exactly.
And they don't expect us to do that because they expect us, when they come and they mess with their minds and they twist our minds and they get us in a little box like a rat bouncing off all the walls, and they distract you so you can't think clearly, so you become scared. The second you become scared, you go into your primal brain, which is fight or flight, which means you're no longer in the executive function part of your brain where the logic is, and that is one of the techniques to keep you trapped.
Sure, but you just have to stand your ground and focus and say, I am the child of God, and you're going to do what I tell you to do, and you're going to tell me,
Yeah, ultimate authority. You say it with the authority of Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And they have to bow down. Is that correct?
That is correct, but there's another issue which I didn't plan on going into tonight. As we dream, we create reality. And sometimes our dream states can actually be more true than the waking life. That's another thing they don't want you to realize. So they actually come into our dreams, they kidnap us, and they take us to different places to make sure that we do not connect to our true selves, and so we're not able to control reality. So they are fighting us in the waking life. They're fighting us in the dream life. They're fighting us in the subconscious. They're fighting us in the conscious. They are fighting us on every single level. We are literally in the very biggest battle of our lives. This is war.
Let me ask you a question. Lucid dreaming. If we control our dreamings by lucid dreaming, then we have the upper hand. Is that correct?
Correct. And if you can fly,
Yes.
Fly in your dreams, because there are certain dream states where they can't fly and you win. There's other dream states where they can fly and they chase you down. The battle right now is not only happening in the conscious mind, in the subconscious mind. The number one battle that people don't understand is that they are fighting us in the dream state.
That makes sense, because I'm saying elusive dreaming also has an effect on the dreaming and the reality.
Right.
You see what I'm saying, right?
And when you're dreaming, people think you're dreaming. And yes, sometimes you're just dreaming. But the majority of the time, you are literally traveling to other dimensions, to other realities, and you're communicating with other benevolent beings in the universe, call them angels if you will, and we are asking for help, and they're helping us. But now they know that. So now they are attacking us in the dream state, and they're keeping us from connecting to our brothers in Christ.
But as long as we elusive dream, we have control over that, and we have dominance or authority over that, and we have the victory, correct?
Correct, but they're fighting hard. They're cheating. They are cheating, and they are breaking all the laws of reality. We are living in the time right now where they are literally breaking every single universal law known.
Well, this is where I get really fired up and kind of angry and pissed off, because we need to rise up, and we have the authority. We believe in it. As long as we believe in it, it becomes reality, and we're taking authority over it. And I'm not sorry, they lose. Period.
Yeah, now that we're aware of it, it makes us even stronger.
Yes. Exactly.
But the point is, I was at a meeting this weekend. They are convinced that they are going to win. They are convinced that they are going to rise to the fifth earth. They are convinced they're going to leave us behind. And if they succeed, now we're going to be left in the fourth dimension. They're going to be in the fifth dimension. And the thing is, right now, I know for a fact, because they are in the same reality with us, they are subject to our laws. They get arrested. They get put in jail. They are running scared. And they have to create this whole facade. But if they are able to achieve the fifth dimension, then from the fifth dimension, they will come down to the fourth, where we are, and stomp on us. And that's why they're so excited.
Well, over my pineal gland, they will.
So the point is, everybody needs to go into my descriptions, learn how they work, learn how to get these guys out of your mind.
Yes.
When they get out of your mind, we win.
What is the symptoms of if this thing is entered into your mind and hidden there? What are the symptoms that you might have?
Good question.
You simply have to pray and demand as a child of God that no one is allowed in your mind. You break down the box and you command these beings to leave your mind forever. They have no right to be there. The thing is, you don't know they're there. Once you know they're there, you can command them to leave and never to return. And this is why this is one of the most critical messages I've ever delivered. And I've been delivering this message for 20 years. For 20 years I've been preaching this. But the issue is, now is the time. August 21st is when they're going to make their move and try to escape and leave us behind.
Well, here's another question I have, because we've had another record solar eclipse, total solar in the U.S., and that was like in the 1970s, like virtually 40 years ago. What's different about this solar eclipse is what I want to ask. What's more significant about it? How do you know it's really
Of course.
it's been planned, right? Right?
I'm sorry. I'm being interrupted real quick here. I have to go on mute for a second.
It's okay, man. There's something more significant about this solar eclipse than any other one, I'm sure. The mere fact that it's going to be seen by virtually every person in the U.S. and it's crossing over Salem, Oregon, of all places.
I'm sorry, Brian. My son was leaving, so I didn't hear anything you said.
No, it's okay. I was just mentioning about the solar eclipse. We've had one of these back in the 70s, my dad said, and he said it went dark for 30 minutes. Like you could see the stars outside. It got that dark. It's creepy, kind of creepy actually. But
you see, the difference about this eclipse is we have a lot of grid workers that are literally opening up a portal to a higher dimension, and they have laid we have ley lines on the fourth dimension. I hope everybody knows about the ley lines on the Earth. They have been working for a very long time, and they've laid the ley lines for the fifth dimension. So the fifth dimensional ley lines have been laid out. Everything is in place for those who are awake to ascend to the fifth era.
You listen to the hangout there?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where this guy's coming from.
I'm sorry.
yeah, Yo, Scribe, you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just telling
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
It's.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm like. I mean, it's beyond what a lot of us can comprehend at this time.
I'm sorry, what?
We were talking about the eclipse, and
Yes.
and how. So what happens? Is that going to be our reward? Okay, we're going to have to make a choice. You said either stay here on this reality in the fourth dimension, right, or ascend to the fifth dimension. Is that right?
Correct.
And once we do, are we going to be like a virus for ourselves, or are we going to be like a virus to them? Like, are we gonna kill them off?
The point is, we have to clear this species that's a parasite in our minds.
Is that what causes us to see things and hear things, and it's like they're controlling us, right?
Well, if you go into the description, and I have 3 videos there, it's an hour long, and I go into great detail about how they work and their systems, and I go in the schematics of how this species works. So, go ahead. Let's just talk. Ask your question, Digital.
Yeah, it's funny, like, me and E-Man, remember that guy, the black guy?
You have to talk louder, okay?
Well, one night we were on a telephone call, and he was talking about this weird stuff.
Digital dropped off.
Okay, it's all right.
Here, let me get Digital back on. Anytime someone drops off, I have to bring him back on.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll get you back on, Digital. Hold on. Digital, you should be back on, but you're on mute.
What?
Digital, you're still on mute. Is that me that's doing it?
What? What the hell is this?
I don't know.
I showed digital on mute, and I don't think it's me.
I think he was on the phone with someone else or something. I'm not really sure, but he'll be back in a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay. So
Digital's back.
I know it's a lot to take in right now because
Well, it's a lot to take in because I've been doing this for so long. I have 100 videos. I've been trying to get everybody up to speed, and I'm just trying to make a quick announcement. I'm trying to say go into the description and get up to speed. But hey, I'm hanging out, so I got some time. Ask questions.
Hey, I'm back on. You guys are trying to get a hold of me?
Yeah, you dropped off. Anytime you drop off, I have to bring you back in. It keeps the trolls out.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing.
I'm just getting this. I'm getting this vibe right now that we need to be prepared.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Well, that's it. We just have to be an attitude of being armed and ready.
It's kind of like
We're ready
that.
for war.
It's like that
Okay, so-
scripture, right, with the 10 virgins, right?
Oh my God.
You remember that one, Tom?
My entire point is that there is a species that has been hidden for a very long time, and I'm trying to make you aware of this species and how they operate. And when you go into the description and you go through my videos, you'll get up to speed.
You're just talking.
I'm wondering if they're being controlled by these quantum computers. I've been wondering that.
No, they're not.
They're not?
No.
Is it CERN that opens up the doorway, or is
No.
it just...
No. We're talking about something completely different.
You guys?
Are they the ones that's responsible for the shifts? Who's causing the shifts? Yeah, Teresa, I'm here. What's up?
Okay. What happened is the shift was originally created by the insiders don't believe in spiritual matters. They think of the Mandela effect as something that, like a solar flare, happened. And the solar flare messed up all their technology and created the Mandela effect at an accelerated rate. And we also have the internet where we can all compare notes. And so the Mandela effect is simply becoming more known. But in reality, it's been going on since before you were born.
That's what it said.
And they want you to believe that this Mandela effect is something new. They want you to blame it on CERN. They want you to blame it on the D-Wave computer. They want to distract you, and they don't want you to understand the true nature of the Mandela effect. And they got everybody chasing their tails. And what I have been doing is it's in the ancient writings. If you study Egyptology, you can go to the Hopi prophecy, you can go to the Syrian tablets, you can go to the Bible, you can go into all the different religions in the world. They have all talked about the end times and how they're going to be, and all of this has been prophesized. Because it has been prophesized and it is spiritual nature, they want you to blame the physical. So I actually know the physics behind it, and I've spent the last year and a half trying to explain the physics to people so people can understand the physics. But it's not working. People aren't taking the time to read my paper. My avatar, you're looking at the most advanced mathematical logarithm in all of the universe that completely explains the Mandela effect. And if you really look, if you want to blow up the right here, if you can see my mouse, in the very center is the Aleister Crowley symbol. Does anybody know who Aleister Crowley is?
Freemason.
So by coincidence, I created this physics back in the 90s. I didn't know anything about Aleister Crowley. It was, I think it was around, I don't know, it must have been around 2012. I ran into Aleister Crowley, and my mouth hit the floor, and I just about had a heart attack. The Aleister Crowley symbol is the very center symbol of all my physics. In other words, these people have figured out physics. So, I mean, I don't know what direction to go with these people. People don't want to listen to physics. People don't seem to want to listen to the spiritual. I'm at my wit's end, folks. I mean, I have tried to explain what is going on every single level. I even went into the Black Op projects I mean, in case you don't know who I am, I've been in the Oval Office. I've been to the vice president's house. I met the vice president. I know the deputy director of the Secret Service. I mean, I am a full-blown insider. I've shown all my credentials. And the one thing I find very ironic is only out of the thousands, and we're talking 20,000 comments, only one person has ever said that my credentials are fake, and only one person has accused me of being a member of the cabal. I have not had anyone accuse me of being a member of the Illuminati, the Freemason, or anything. I've never had that accusations. You know why? Because I am a good insider, and the real insiders know I'm not an Illuminati. I'm not a Freemason. I'm not an evil person. I am not part of the evil elite. So there's your proof that I am speaking the truth. All I do is speak the truth, and I'm trying to wake people up on every single level. I've tried the physical, the spiritual, the physics. I mean, I have tried everything.
And I was going to say, like, 20 years ago, we didn't see these shifts. Yet you were able to see it. You saw it 20 years ago. 23 years ago. Where were you 23 years ago in my life? To show me. I don't know. These Mandelas are hard to believe, honestly. Hard to believe. But now that they're happening more sporadically, it's waking more and more people up.
Transported back and forth.
That's confusing to people.
They don't have the ability to create. They are a technologically based species. They know nothing about the spiritual. They've hit a wall, and they have gone as far as they can spiritually. And that is the bottom line. They can't go any further. They hit a brick wall. And so they have to use us as the true children of God. As a child of God, you can create reality. And at the same time, they don't want you to know you can create reality, but at the same time, they want you to know you can't create reality because you are helping them create reality. They are using us they're using our free will against us, folks. We are trapped in a prison system. We are where they are completely 100% manipulating us because we don't know the rules. We don't understand reality. But they do. And they're counting on us not understanding anything. Because what we are talking about is millions of years ahead of the technology we have today. It's kind of like if I could walk into, let's say I go back to the caveman days when they haven't discovered fire, and I speak caveman language, and I could take my big lighter and I could say, hey, I can flick my finger and create flame, and they all gonna say, you're a liar. And then I go, and I create a flame, and they go, oh, no way, he's a god. Now, do you really think that because I can hold a big lighter in my hand, flick it and create flame, do you really think I'm a god? No. You simply don't understand the technology. Because the technology is hidden from you. Human beings just don't have the knowledge base to understand what is going on, and we don't understand the rules, and we don't understand what's happening, and they are cheating, and they're manipulating us, and they're screwing us.
Like, for whatever reason, God is allowing this right now.
Yep.
And maybe it goes according to what Jesus was saying, where he comes to divide. He wants to separate his goats from, or his sheep from the goats. You know what I mean? And maybe these beings are for that purpose, to separate people, to divide us up. That's what they want. They get satisfaction out of it. It's almost like they're laughing in our face, right?
They are laughing all the way. They think it's hysterical. They're laughing, and they think we are stupid. And one of the reasons I get so frustrated, and I'm not going to blame anybody, because if you don't know, you don't know. It's just everybody, not everybody, how do I say this politely? I listen to, it just seems like, okay, let me put it this way. I'll tell you what the insiders told me. Since I already sound crazy enough as it is, might as well go all out crazy. They told me that the system they created, they did too good of a job. Reality is being smacked, dabbed in your face. We are being proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that reality is nothing what you think it is, but at the same time, the majority of the population just don't care. They say, I gotta wake up, I gotta take a shower, I gotta go to work, I gotta pay my bills. Who cares? What does all this Mandela effect stuff mean? It doesn't. Who cares? The point is that the people that have been doing this to us have separated us from the spiritual world. And there are species that are coming in that are judging them. And they are trying desperately to wake us up to the spiritual nature of the universe, but they did too good of a job of controlling us. They did too good of a job of putting us to sleep, and they can't get human beings to wake up. They're changing the Bible. Christians, did you hear about talking on church? My gosh, Joel Osteen, who's now Joel Osteen, should be talking about it. There should be preachers all over the world screaming from the rooftop that our Bibles are changing. Do you hear that? No. These effects that are happening are so earth-shattering that it should be hitting mainstream news. But it's not. And the issue is that the message was delivered to CERN, if I remember the word correctly, Telek, which means you have been judged and you have been found short. And the people who are in power are pooping their pants because they have realized that they have gone overboard and they have brainwashed and put humanity to sleep, and there's like nothing. There's literally nothing they can do to wake people up. Nothing. People are so damn asleep, people don't care. They don't. And they're pooping their pants because they can't turn their sheep around. They can't get their sheep to wake up and become spiritual enough so that they can say to their masters, look what a beautiful job we did. When the masters are observing them and have said, you have destroyed this world. You have destroyed the earth. You have polluted the earth. You're drilling holes. You're using fossil fuels. We don't need it. We can use solar energy. It's the masters have come back and they are judging the elite, and they have come short, and they are not happy. And the elite are running scared and pooping their pants. Sorry, I didn't mean to start preaching. You get the idea?
Yeah. Yeah,
They screwed up. They screwed up.
It's almost like anything that's contrary to their belief system, they're going to eradicate it and try to deceive us even more. And it's almost like I don't know about you, but people seem different in this reality, and it's driving me up the wall sometimes. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because what seems like possession. You know, it seems like people are getting possessed randomly. The other day, somebody was texting me, and they were texting me by thinking about it, not using speech to text. And they apologized because they said, no, I didn't know what came over my phone. It was just randomly sending me text messages. And they were legit, real messages. They weren't like FJ, FJ, KK, KK, CC, CC, you know, nothing like that. It was just like words were showing up on the screen. And they admit that they did not text that to me.
What?
I took screenshots. It's really bizarre. I'm not gonna call on that person, but I just
okay. If you want to go there,
how is it our doppelganger maybe or
someone went? Look, it's real easy to hack somebody's system. somebody went into my system and started making comments all over YouTube that I never made.
What?
Well, what's really what a lot of people need to do now. I would highly suggest this, especially I know Tom. He works with computers also. I would suggest everybody switch over to two-factor authentication because they have to at least get a you have to at least get a text message.
You don't understand the
Well,
technology
well,
they're using, but
What's going on?
no, I'm saying it uses one-time password
Oh, with the phone, you mean?
to get a,
To identify yourself?
well, so that you ward off hackers. You know,
it
because
helps. It helps, but you're talking about a technology that's millions of years ahead of us.
well, they're already hacking our brains, and we're still reverse engineering them. We're reverse engineering our own brains as we speak. So they've already figured that out, light years ahead of us, right? I mean,
Right.
years and years ahead of us.
Well, I mean, if
I mean,
you
light
want to go
years.
on the quantum computer,
And I've heard they upgraded those as well. There has to be a connection between all of these shifts and these beings, or whatever this adversary is that we're facing right now. I know we have to search our hearts because our hearts can lead us to the answer, and God, He speaks to us.
the original Mandela effect, and in their opinion, was just some kind of super flare from the sun that screwed up their technology. I happen to personally know. I should make a video on that. You see my diagram here? My avatar. It's the most advanced physics, as I said, and they actually.
I can't see it because Tom is still presenting. Tom, can you take yourself off presentation mode for a brief moment? Or
that's me.
Somebody's presenting.
Yeah, well, I wasn't paying attention.
It's okay.
So now you can see my avatar. Right?
Yeah.
Alright. I can. I wonder if I can do this real quick. Let me see.
What I was curious. I was curious because I don't.
The thing is, okay, along, we're at the end of the days, and what the heck? I'll just go all cuckoo talk. This physics has been observed. My group and other benevolent beings, the Black Ops projects, blah blah blah. There's actually a photograph of this exact diagram, and how do I say this without getting so much trouble?
Well, I wanted to ask you what those 4 circles represent outside the 3 circles. What are those? Because I don't recall seeing those before in your drawing. Is that what are those?
Well,
yeah, what are those 4 circles?
Well, before I forget, this physics, how do I say this? The sun was having major issues, and we injected this physics into the sun, and they actually took, I don't know how they did this, they took a photograph of this physics before we injected it into the sun, trying to correct the sun. This is the kind of projects I'm on. I'm involved in the most advanced technology known to mankind. We are running around trying to fix the sun, the moon, the universe, and heck. I mean, there's some stuff I have to still keep secret, There's a lot of physics that I'm using that I have to keep secret. But I've been involved in these. I've been doing this for the last 20 years. I've been using this physics and, trying to fix stuff.
Well, along with the bad that comes, isn't there something cyclic to conquer it? There has to be an adverse reaction to conquer the evil that's upon us.
The thing is that every time we try to fix stuff, the bad folks try to figure out a way to hijack us and hijack us to the next level.
Well, they can only do that if we allow it. But by being aware of it, right, we have power now.
Now I'm telling you the secret. Focus on your mind and get them out of your mind.
Teresa, are you there?
I'm here.
You're more psychically tuned than probably all of us here. What do you gain a sense of right now? What are you feeling right now? Anything?
About what?
About what's being said. About how we can deal with these beings and conquer them. But and we're aware that
I'm open to all kind of ideas.
What are you feeling right now?
Sakes, we all need to work as a group. If you got a better idea, I'd love to hear it.
I say we try to tune them out.
Say again?
She said go ahead, Teresa, can you say again?
I say we try to tune them out. Like, ignore them. Like, how do I explain this?
Do they work? Here's the thing. Do they work off of a certain wavelength? I mean, I haven't fully looked at your project yet, but I will.
I try to block them out. You know how when you have somebody that you don't want to talk to, you know what I'm saying, and you just want to ignore them?
See, that's the trick. You have to understand that they are in our brain, and they hide there, and they're dormant, and they are parasite. And when you go into my description, I teach you how to get rid of them.
That's what I want to do. I try to ignore them. I'm like,
I hate to say this, but most people don't have an hour of their life to learn how to change reality. It's sad.
You saying I can change my reality how it is?
Say again?
Can we control our reality?
We can.
Yes, we can control reality, but the issue is that they have the upper hand. They live much, 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 much longer than us. And not only do they live longer than us,
you're supposed to get up, you go to work. So what happens? Your reality changes. You wake up, you're sick, you stay home. And something was supposed to happen one day, and you're home sick. I mean, for example, I don't want to bring this up, but I had a friend that rides the bus, and about 3 years ago, there was a drunk driver who hit this bus stop and killed a few people. I'm sorry, I'm not going off the subject, but I'm going to give you an idea of what I mean. He hit this bus stop here in Las Vegas. 3 or 4 people died. Some people have ended up in the hospital. I talked to this guy 2 or 3 weeks later. He told me that he called in sick that day to work, that he was supposed to be at that bus stop. Wasn't that kind of like a reality change? And he might have been one of his victims. Does that make sense what I just said?
I'm sorry.
There's like reasons why we're not supposed to be where we're supposed to be.
I don't know. I really feel like these
like
guys.
Like controlling your destiny. You know what I mean?
I know. I really feel like these guys are just trying to distract us from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
how I feel. And the truth is, we have the power over these beings because we have God. But the people
Absolutely.
who
That's
deny
true.
the Mandela effect, they probably also deny Christ. I'm not accusing anyone, but there's a lot of people that are denying the Mandela effect, and it sounds like a corny name, and I know people are trying to rename it right now, but
Quantum effect.
yeah, or some other shifting reality shift, something or
Reality
other, but
shift.
Yeah.
yeah,
But some of these Mandelas don't even make sense. That's another thing that's weird. Some of them are funny.
there's
You know what I mean?
connections. There's got to be a connection with these Mandela effects. There's a pattern. I mean, you know,
Yes.
like a serial killer.
Messages. I think there's
He
messages in them.
leaves a clue behind.
Brian,
What?
if I may interrupt you for one moment, please.
Go ahead.
As you know, I'm severely technologically hampered. Can you go into the Mandela Effect chat room we had earlier? And I just posted a video. Do you have the ability to take that video and make it go live?
Oh.
Wait, which video on the Mandela effect?
Is that the Stargate portal?
So when I gave you my phone number to call me earlier, you know, the Mandela Effect chat room,
Yeah.
can you go there? There's a video. Do you have the ability to make that? I want to show you my physics and what we're doing to try to fix things. And I've been meaning to make a video on this, but what the heck? If you can get this thing to go live, that would be great.
I'm trying to find that video right now as we speak.
Confused.
You said it was in the chat, like.
Yeah, in the chat. When I gave my phone number and I said to call me.
Okay, that one.
Is that the Stargate portal? Is it that one?
In our previous Google Mandela, what do you call this thing?
Oh, I see it.
The Hangouts.
It's a YouTube video.
Is it how to control reality?
You know, maybe I'll just type it in.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. You got it?
I see it.
You see it?
Yeah, is this the
Right.
one that says how to control reality?
No.
Oh.
No, it was in the Hangout chat, correct?
In the
Where
Hangout
exactly
chat.
is it?
I see it.
What's it called?
Stargate portal, that one?
That's the one.
It's https://youtube.be/y6ml.
Right,
Thank you.
it's the one about the Stargate portal.
Yeah, that's
I
the
found
one.
the old Earth, is that it?
Okay, I can play it live, I guess.
I see it.
I'll make you the presenter. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, good. Can you make me present it? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm gonna make you a presenter.
am I presenting now? Okay.
You should be presenting.
I'm not getting any sound. Okay.
A mysterious UFO the size of Jupiter
That's it, but you're not presenting
crashes into
correctly.
the sun.
Okay, I do
These
this.
are bizarre
Wait,
images
no, I heard you.
from
Stop it.
Soho, the
Stop,
Solar
please.
Observatory Space.
Stop it. Okay.
Yeah, please stop.
Sorry about that.
Nice dog.
Yeah,
Nice
my dog's tripping out over this video here apparently.
Craft.
Okay. So what? Yeah. So what are we looking at? You wanna?
I'm trying
You want me to go ahead and keep playing it or fast forward?
I'm trying to give you presentation privileges.
It's.
Oh, wait, man, we can do this. No, I can do it. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh. All these technical.
I was presenting for a second there.
Really?
Yeah, it said I was presenting to everyone.
Okay, well, there, now you're presenting, but
Do you see my screen?
I see your... Oh, here we go. Here.
It might be a delay or something. Do you see it now? It went away. Okay, now it shows you're presenting.
Alright, well, let me try this one more time.
Okay.
Let's try something else. Alright, so now I'm presenting, right?
Right?
Okay, let me just start typing. I gotta type this stupid YouTube thing. I don't know. Shit, should I do... Excuse my language. HTTPS /
Here, how about if I send it to you in the chat? Would that help? There you go.
I'm just a little slow.
There.
I need my bifocals, that's the problem. I am
Hey.
50 years old.
I'm looking at this supposed picture of the planets, and I'm not seeing the Jupiter rings. That looks weird.
Well, you can still
Jupiter's
see
supposed
my
to have
screen.
rings, isn't it?
What if I can go
Yeah,
my
Jupiter's not supposed to have rings, but it does in this reality.
Maybe that's new
Absolutely.
Mandela.
Yeah, it got the rings.
Alright, let me try this one more time.
Hey guys, let me ask you something. What year was Shoemaker Levy 9? Was that what, 98? When was that? 92?
93?
93.
No, 93, I think.
You guys remember that?
Yeah, man, it was like a prophetic sign. Oh,
I've
I
got
gotta
probably
look
I've got a few more minutes and I've got to jump, but
Where you going?
it's like 12:30 where I'm at, man.
Yeah, but you don't have to get up in the morning. I do, so you can stay up.
Yeah, I'm sure even if I tried to fall asleep, I probably couldn't.
No, just stay up, buddy. We'll pull an all-nighter. You know what I'm saying?
Like a vampire.
I'm gonna need a kickstand here in a minute, guys.
It's alright, get a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Does wonders. Does the body good.
Oh, wait.
that's
I
right.
think I'm fine now.
Hey, Brian, does the body good.
That's right. Does the body good?
That's it.
You guys see me type?
Yeah.
Got the bifocals on?
No, I left them in my car. Oh my gosh. It sucks being old.
Nah, you're a young man. Wait till you get to 55. People are listening out there. Remember, it's the greatest show on earth.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I don't know how George Norrie does
You
these
didn't know
late night shows. I remember on my morning drive to work every day, I listened to George Norrie before it would cut out because I was out of range. But yeah,
George Norrie's awesome, man.
he's great, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, gotta love it.
Who is that he has on his show talking about Mandela effects? I'm trying to.
God only knows.
I just can't believe the media is just passing it off as
I know, it's all
confabulation.
confabulation or some kind of mind control. You know, but hey, listen, at least
Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, So you also saw my avatar earlier about the three circles, right?
Yes. Yeah, on
All right.
your
So
logo.
as I said, I'm using the most advanced physics known to mankind. I'm involved in black odd projects and blah 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 blah. Okay. Do you see this diagram here? 1, 2, 3 circles. You see these 3 circles?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, well, now it started playing. This is my physics, and this is what we do. And I'm sorry, I'm involved in very high level black ops projects, and we are trying to fix the sun. So what I did is, we designed this physics, and we. I'm sorry, it keeps playing. Let me back it up. Because everyone wants to call me a big liar, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me hit pause. This right here is my physics. And so what we did is we threw my physics into the sun to try to help the sun. As a result, and they're trying to say that this physics is big as Jupiter and all this stuff. And what we did is we threw my physics into the sun, trying to correct it. On last Friday, it created what you know as a huge solar flare. But in case you all don't know, the solar flare didn't hurt Earth because that's what we did. The purpose was designed to fix the sun and blow the crap out of the bad guys, Mandela effect stuff that is screwing everything up. So right here is proof positive of my physics, and it went into the sun. We tried to fix the sun. We created this huge mass. They talk about this huge black hole and stuff, and there's huge solar flare, and it came blasting towards the Earth, and everybody said, "Oh, it's going to destroy the Earth," and all this stuff. No, we're trying to screw up the bad guys' technology. So here is proof positive of my physics and what my group does. So, do you see this? This is proof positive that I'm not lying and I'm a real insider, and we are running around trying to fix the freaking universe. We created this huge black thing, and then we blasted out all the negative stuff in the sun, because there's a whole bunch of bad crap in the sun. We created this huge thing with my physics, and we blasted out as last Friday this huge solar flare. And of course, we don't want to hurt the Earth. So, did it hurt the Earth? Did anybody hear about the Earth being messed up by the huge solar flare? Hopefully, everybody knows about the solar flare that happened. One of the largest solar flares in thousands of years. And it didn't hurt the Earth. You know why? Because it was us. This is what we do. This is what our Black Ops project does. This is the kind of stuff I do. I'm not full of crap, people. This is real. This is real physics. This is real.
Well, I mean, how many people know about this right now?
Everybody who's listening now.
Mm-hmm.
See, people don't know what this is, but this is my physics. I'm involved in the most advanced physics. I'm involved with technology that is millions of years ahead of us. I am a true insider. I show all my credentials, and I hate to say it, but I'm working with the most evil beings in all existence. I've been lecturing these people for 20 years. I've been telling them how they're screwing everything up, and this is why I'm still alive. People tell me, how can you make all these videos, Byron, and not be killed? It's because I know what I'm talking about. These morons know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to correct all the crap they're doing. Ooh, that was a
Yeah,
bad video. And you know, but anyway, you get the idea.
yeah, they're trying to fix what happened. So this UFO hit the sun, and you're working with people to try to fix it, or have they fixed it already?
No, I'm the one trying to fix it. And my group is trying to fix it. We're trying to work with the bad guys in the universe, and we're trying to get them to listen to us. And slowly and slowly and slowly, they're starting to listen, but there's still the riffraff that doesn't want to listen. And the problem is, this is why I'm doing this emergency video, is because these guys think they're about to escape. Because they're parasites and they've gotten into our brains. And the thing is, they're so sneaky, even the elite doesn't know about them. And I know this sounds like complete insanity, but come on. We're talking about South America move 1,000 miles. If that's not insane, I don't know what you're talking about. Our entire human... I'm the very first person in the entire world to talk about the continents moving. I'm the very first person in the world to talk about the human anatomy changing. And I talk about the brain structure and the nervous system and where we are in the universe. I am the only person in the world describing what's going on, and I'm doing my very best to explain to people. But it's just so advanced. People aren't catching on.
I think what the part of the problem is the attention span. Many people don't have the attention span for it anymore.
Well, they don't have the attention span and they don't care because the programming is still strong. And they even told me, the insider said, we did too good of a job. We can't wake up humanity. And they're pooping their pants because they're, you know, what we call the founder race is coming back and they're judging them. And they're saying, you screwed up.
It's a very, very tough subject to talk about. I know.
Well,
Hard
how
to
do you
wrap your mind
explain to
around
a
it.
caveman that I have a cell phone that can talk to anybody in the world?
I want to ask you, Harmony, about the Mandela effects. Have you been keeping a timeline at all with these things? Because a lot of people are asking me about a timeline of when these things have occurred. Are they happening at different times for different people, or are they happening at the same time for everyone? And we're just waking up to it. Are all the shifts happening for everyone? Is what I'm saying.
No, what it is this whole thing is a big mess.
Well, it's another fine mess, right?
It's one of the biggest messes in the universe.
Laurel and Hardy, or what is it?
And the benevolent beings are trying to correct it, and the bad guys are trying to keep control. And the bad guys just don't get it.
Well, they don't because they don't have
Because
guidance from the Holy
they're
Spirit.
technology based. They're all technology. They don't believe in spiritual matters. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in a divine nature. They just believe everything happens and it just happens. They don't understand the true nature of God. They don't believe in God.
We only have a short time on this planet. I mean, some people have longer than others. And it's how we use this time that makes us who we are, I think.
But anyway, back to my original
Yeah.
point. these guys plan on hijacking it. I've been saying this for 20 years. We are the spiritual beings. They want to hijack us to move to the higher realm, the higher dimension, the fifth wave, ascension. I don't care what word you want to use. They plan on hijacking as parasites into the next realm. And that's what's going to happen on the 21st of August. And every single person needs to focus on their brain, the pineal gland, realize, demand as a child of God, demand this crap leaves your head. Once it leaves your body, your mind, then they can't jump to the next level.
I totally get it. I totally get it now. So we have to get these things to leave our bodies before we ascend, or they come with us. Is that right?
Thank you. Now you get it. And then if you go into the description of the video, it's already there. There's 3 20-minute videos that will get you up to speed. It's a war.
Well, we're gonna win that war. That I can assure you.
If people do what I ask them to do.
They have to do what they're willing to do to make a sacrifice for mankind. You know, we have to.
Paul say, pray constantly.
Yes.
Why did he say pray constantly? To get the crap out of your mind. I'll just be on. I'll be transparent for a minute. When I pray, the enemy attacks me, and I have the hardest time praying for 1 minute. They will sidetrack me and throw me off in all kinds of directions. And after 5 minutes, I'm like, damn, sidetrack me again. And then I'll start to pray again. A minute later, they got me sidetracked for another 5 minutes. And then I have to come back and focus and pray again. They are beating the crap out of me.
Harmony, you're gonna be fine, brother.
Of course I'll be fine. I'm just trying to teach the people in this reality that we are under the most severe spiritual attack of all time. And people need to wake up and focus and get connected back to their spiritual roots. They have to get connected back to true source God Creator. The Bible says, shine like a pillar of light unto the world.
Well, you know, the Bible says we are the salt of the earth. As Christians, that's how we're supposed to be. We purify the earth. That's what it means.
Exactly.
And you're right. I think this parasite needs to go.
We have to get back
the boot.
to our roots.
Give it the boot. That's what I say.
We have to get back to our roots. We have to get back to our true calling. We have to wake up to who we truly are. We are children of God, the most powerful spiritual beings in all of existence, and we have to demand, and we have to say, enough is enough is enough.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to dip and
with that, we're going to end the broadcast.
Thank you, Harmony, for getting that message out to us, for waking us up. I would just wish it was 20 years ago for me, and you have to think, how would you explain it to people 20 years ago? Because now the effects are really hitting hard. They're really hitting home now. So
The Mandela effect is designed for many purposes. There's a benevolent and a malevolent, meaning good and bad. Take the good. The
yes,
good is designed to wake you up. That reality is nothing what you think it is. We have been programmed, and we have been conditioned, and we have been fooled. And now is a
now's the
time
time.
to wake up to your true calling as a child of God and demand that we take back control of this reality. We no longer stand for the things that have happened in this world. We are no longer going to put up with it, and we are done.
Amen. I think we are done with them wreaking havoc on our bodies, our souls, and our minds. And we need the Lord Jesus Christ right now as much as possible. And I say that with extreme authority in His name. Amen.
Amen.
Good night, you guys.
Good night. Peace. Love. Please remember who you are. The Bible teaches us, many religions teaches us, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's now time to wake up to your true spiritual calling.
Digital, you got any remarks? Or you want to finish this out in some prayer? Tom, you there?
Well,
I think-
Brian, would you like to close us in prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you open our minds and our hearts. Give us the ears to hear, the eyes to see. And yes, I said that backwards. Sorry, it's late. But yes, give us the strength to carry on, to overcome this evil that is upon us. And grant us peace and love and mercy to be in the footsteps of your Son. In Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Peace, love.
Remember, don't be like Adam in the Garden of Eden. And we have to walk out of the shadow of Adam and into the light of Christ. That's what I think. Just my thing. So.
Amen. Peace and good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.